Okay.
Okay, well, I'm leaving that in. But this is the TeamRedEye ShitShow. I am your host, Tom Bergeron. And today I've got Rem, also known as Big Smoke 69, and Ethan, also known as Elite Gamer 420.
Dude, that's totally me.
It is, it's you. I saw it. And we've also got a dog here that hopefully keeps your goddamn mouth shut. But
Right, you little bitch.
yeah, but we'll see. So today, we'll start out by talking about... I'll just talk about my game of the year, and then we'll get to Rem's game of the year, because he's going to have some hot takes, and I'm gonna have a better take, so we'll see. But I guess I'll start.
What's my game of the year?
I don't know.
Ghost of Tsushima, I guess.
That's a good one. But for me, it's Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal is easily the best Doom game, because they put in platforming, and there's definitely a strategy to it, because you kill all the demons using different weapons with weak points, and each type of demon is weak to a different type of weapon. It's also got a kick-ass soundtrack, and, most importantly, it is a much-needed dose of testosterone in a time that is dominated predominantly by soy.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
So, I agree with the kick-ass soundtrack. It's awesome. But, couldn't there be an argument to be made the fact that there is, like, since the demons are only weak to one specific thing, that it kind of locks you into doing that one specific thing?
That's actually a criticism that some people have. But I would argue they're not necessarily just weak to that one specific thing, but most likely you're going to find certain demons, only specific weapons are particularly effective to actually, like, to be viable. Like, you can kill...
Question too.
Sure.
So are you like fighting all these demons like in one level, like one after the other? So you're like constantly switching weapons?
Yes.
I think that's strategy.
Yeah, you absolutely have to constantly switch weapons. They have the quick switch, and then they have the weapon wheel. And you also have something called the Blood Punch, that is this big, massive punch that you unlock later in the game that certain demons are weak to, but also does massive damage to every demon. The Super Shotgun is a viable weapon against almost every demon. In fact, the Super Shotgun is typically what I stick to. There are some demons that it's less effective against, like, I guess Baron of Hell and Doom Hunters. Doom Hunters are a fucking pain in the ass, because they got shields, and they fly around, and they shoot missiles at you, and they're really annoying. But it's a very difficult game because of the strategy behind it, but that's what makes it so fun.
And I necessarily don't think that it's a bad thing just because they're only weak to one thing. I play tons of games where something is weak to one thing.
Sure. And like I said, you can mix it up, and you can, like for instance, you can use rocket launchers against Hell Knights, even though they're specifically weak to the chain gun. And you can use the Super Shotgun against Hell Knights, too. You're just going to have to keep, like, stepping away and then getting... Because the Hell Knights will run up and punch you and do massive amounts of damage. And I'm currently playing the add-on, the Ancient Gods Part 1, which is considerably harder than the base game. I'm on the Blood Swamps, which is the second level of it. And the levels are pretty long in that game. And another thing Doom Eternal did is it's actually got more cutscenes than, like, Doom 2016, so it's got a little bit more plot. But the plot's a lot more, like... Yeah, it definitely does. And the plot is, like, it's a little bit more kooky and over the top, but it's a Doom game, so what do you expect? I mean, literally the motivation of why Doom Guy hates demons in the first place, in the very first Doom, is because they killed his rabbit named Daisy.
How dare they?
Yeah. And that's canon still, because with Doom Eternal, they also establish how the Doom timeline currently works, because it's always ambiguous before, but, like, now you know that it starts with Doom 1, Doom 2, Doom 64, Doom 2016, Doom Eternal. Doom 3 could theoretically be canon, but it's a different Marine and not actually Doom Guy. But, yeah, I love Doom
Eternal.
Eternal.
Like, way different than the other Dooms,
So-
wasn't it?
Yes, Doom 3 was very different.
So did it actually come out in 2020?
Yes, Doom Eternal came out in January 2020.
Oh,
Yeah.
that long ago.
Yeah, quite some...
Before Corona.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning, it's already been a year since it's been out.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, the coof.
I don't care. I use whatever words I want
My
on there.
friend has been wanting to play it for, like, years, was waiting for it. I can't believe it's already been out for a year.
Oh, yeah, it's been out for a minute here. And the add-on just came out like a month or two ago, and I've been playing that. But also, it's not too much plot. It's a very gameplay-focused game. Like, the plot's just you don't have to get too immersed into it. And some of it, you're actually not gonna. It's a little bit esoteric. You have to, if you're the bigger of a Doom fan you are, and the more familiar you are with the expanded universe, the more you're gonna get out of this game. That's not to say that you need to be familiar with anything. You don't even need to really have played the previous game.
So a pleb can play it for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But you are gonna. They also didn't go out of their way to make it inclusive and easy to everyone, which I actually think is a positive, because they didn't retool it to be easy for, say, game journalists, who, the same guy who failed at that Cuphead dash jump, failed at a dash jump in Doom Eternal. It's actually pretty funny.
Yeah, I actually saw that.
Yeah. But Doom Eternal's great. I recommend everybody play it. Should we go on to you now, Rem, or should we...
Sure.
All right, what's your game of the year? I'm sure that the crowd is dying to know.
That would be The Last of Us Part 2.
T. Louis II.
I disagree with all the hate it gets. I think the best part of the game is actually its story.
So what's so great about the story?
Yeah, like I said, this is your time to shine. Defend it.
Well, we know that the whole idea of Last of Us Part 2 is a story of revenge.
Sure.
And how revenge doesn't solve anything.
It's too bad the gameplay doesn't agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I would disagree. I think the ending was actually perfect for what they were going for. I think why people get so heated is I can agree that it has some pacing issues, especially when you switch to Abby.
Terrible character, by the way.
Love Abby.
I know you do.
Dude, she's so strong and muscular. I want her to crush me.
She is the fucking strong.
When they switched from Ellie to Abby, I have problems with that because it was at a very intense moment in the game when the Asian dude, I don't remember his name.
The Asian kid from 13 Reasons Why.
Yeah. Is Neil Druckmann. He's clearly Neil Druckmann's add-on. He's clearly his...
It's his self-insert, right?
Yeah, it's his self-insert.
Where he gets shot and killed, and then they have this standoff. Abby and Ellie do, and then it switches to Abby, and that took me out completely.
Okay. What do you think of the really gross sex scene?
Dude,
I
perfect.
forgot about it, to be honest.
Yeah, he forgot about it. There we go.
He blocked it out of his mind.
Okay. I'll let you continue. I'll let you finish your point before I interject.
Yeah, no worries. So it's like 10 minutes. I was like, I mean, this is okay. I'm willing to roll with the punches, but that was a bad time to switch. And I feel like that is a big reason that a lot of people have a hard time getting into it. Yes.
Would you agree that it would actually be better to start with Abby and then go to Ellie?
No.
No?
Because the developers intentionally wanted you to hate Abby before you play Abby.
I personally think it would have been... Well, because... I guess we'll get into this later. Continue what you're saying.
So, with it being all about revenge, Ellie... You know, she's trying to get revenge for Joel's death because Abby kills Joel. And Abby is trying to get revenge for her
Spoiler
father's
warning, by
death.
the way.
Yes, big spoilers.
I don't know. I'll put spoiler warnings at the beginning of this video or something. I don't care.
Okay. Trying to get revenge for her father's death because
the guy who saved
Joel
the zebra
killed her father. Yes, the guy who saved the zebra.
That's how you know he's a good boy.
He's so good. He saved a zebra.
He's the goodest of boys.
So it's like this. It's the cycle of revenge, as I have been calling it, where Abby wants revenge, so she kills Joel, and because of this, it directly leads Ellie to wanting revenge because Joel's dead, and that makes sense. Ellie doesn't really know how far her revenge is taking her until I think the big turning point is when she kills the pregnant lady Mel. Then she's like, what have I done? I killed not only one person, but two people.
But a baby. Think of the children.
Don't you think it's kind of hypocritical, though? That when Ellie was going to kill a pregnant person, Abby's just like... Or no, Abby was going to kill it. Abby was going to kill a pregnant person.
And then she's pregnant.
And she's like,
her
good.
Her response is, good.
Don't you think it's a little hypocritical and a little bit maybe out of line?
So Ellie, of course, she was horrified. And then Abby was going to kill a pregnant person specifically because Mel was pregnant. So it was also a revenge thing. She was motivated by revenge. So
to be fair, I do think the game makes it come out as a bad thing.
Sure, yeah, for sure. And I'm not going to say that there aren't positives to this game. I just think there's the negatives greatly outweigh the positives. But I'm going to let him continue.
Yeah.
The only negative of the game is the rope puzzles. I hate the rope puzzles.
Now you say that the gameplay in this one is considerably better than the first. Whereas from what I understand, it's really unchanged.
I say it is better, but it's not better by a country mile. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think it's better, but it's not greatly better. I still think it's mostly the same. They still got that great crafting. Still got the really nice atmosphere. It still has all these little stories that you pick up while you're going through the world, like little notes of people leaving.
And I will say, the first part of Seattle, the open world Seattle, I thought that was pretty fun.
And another thing, they were really misleading with the trailer, because there's that one scene that has like Joel in it in the trailer.
You think you're going to do this alone or something like that?
Good scene in the trailer. I thought that was great. But then in the actual game, it's that one, is that guy Jesse? Is that who it is?
Yeah, Jesse, that's his name,
and
the Asian guy.
I'll say this, I think the male characters in the game were drastically underutilized and all treated just as plot objects for the female characters.
Seth, Bigot Sandwich Guy, he was so good.
Like, I feel like all of the male characters were disrespected, treated like shit, and basically were just used to be tossed away and killed.
Yeah.
No, I thought Jesse was a good character, to be personally.
Dude, the plot forgot about him.
Yeah. Let me be clear, by the way. These two have played the game, and I have not.
Another thing I wanted to bring up is when Ellie, who is motivated by revenge, and Jesse, who is not motivated by revenge, when Ellie wants to go after Abby because she feels her rationalization is, okay, Abby is going to lead us to more answers, about Joel and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse's like, no, Dina's pregnant. Tommy, we know where Tommy is. We need to get Tommy and Dina out of here. We need to go back to Jackson. And Ellie is like, no, we need to go to Abby. But at that point, I was like, no, you should listen to Jesse because that's rational. Because he's being rational. Because being revenge-ridden, you lose your rationality.
Yeah, for sure. And let me say this. I think that the message of the game is fantastic. I just think the execution is god-awful.
Yeah, it's also too bad that, the gameplay doesn't agree with that message.
Mm-hmm. I think that one of the biggest problems I have with the game is, number one, I feel that the ending is very anticlimactic. And again, this is me as someone who hasn't played it. I've seen reviews of it. I've seen clips of it. So that's why these two are here. Because one loves it, one doesn't like it, and actually played it. So one loves it, one hates it. They both played it. I didn't. I hate it. So you can call me out on that, but that's why I got these two here. Well, that and because we're going to talk about whatever, but,
I actually played it before I learned anything of it.
Uh-huh.
So when Joel's death happened, like, I was enjoying the game, and I actually did record it unreleased. You could tell at the moment of Joel's death, I am so deflated.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I am completely taken out of the story.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, I don't have a problem with killing him off. I just think they did it in a poor way.
As I like to call it, plot poison.
Okay.
It's the opposite of plot armor, where the plot makes you do things out of character for you to die.
And what out of character thing did they do?
First of all, sharing their name. Joel saved Abby's life from a horde of zombies, which, by the way, not explained as to where any of them came from. Which, you could make a good argument for why he would save her.
Yeah, it's a zombie apocalypse, too.
But, why he would save her. Like, at the same time, you could make an argument why he wouldn't save her. You can make an argument for why he would save her.
Mm-hmm.
And then, also, that's treated, like, Abby doesn't even, when she learns that that's Joel, she doesn't treat it as anything. Like, she doesn't treat the fact that this man that she hates and she wants to kill just saved her life.
Mm-hmm.
And also just the way it was shared, the fact that they willingly share their names to random people, but, you could make the argument that, the raids aren't happening anymore, so they don't have to worry about sharing their name anymore. However, the raids are still happening because Tommy specifically says, you have to Ellie, you have to stay here to protect against raids. So we know raids are still happening based off of that. Unless he was being facetious.
Yeah, maybe.
And also the fact that when you know they finally get to the area where they're all in the same, like, they're not suspicious at all that these people are camping outside of Jackson. They're just cool with it, and then they willingly share their names. And Joel, that famous line, "Y'all act like you heard of us" or something, and you get shot.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, but he just says Joel is his name, right?
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't say a last name or anything.
Yeah.
No,
So how does she know it's the same Joel? Is Joel not a very common name?
Clearly, there's only one person in the world named Joel.
Like, how would she immediately know, oh, that's the same Joel?
Because they knew that
But
Joel
to be
lived
fair,
in Jackson.
To be fair, they knew that
That's
Joel.
why they're going
Well,
to
actually, they
Jackson.
didn't know Joel lived in Jackson. They were going there for Tommy, because he might know where Joel is, because Tommy and Joel are brothers. So when this guy introduces himself as Tommy and then his brother Joel, it's a pretty reasonable.
You can
thing to
make the
assume.
argument, yeah, if they, like, the just one name, okay, could be coincidence, could be someone else, but you start getting a couple of names piling up, you're like, this sounds like it might be them. I guess I could see that. To an extent. Like, to give it the benefit of the doubt.
They said Joel. They said, was it just Joel that revealed his name, or was Tommy too?
Tommy said, "My name is Tommy, and this is my brother." And then Joel said, "Joel."
Okay, then that would be like
okay,
that puts the nail on the head. Like,
Okay,
oh,
fair
we're
enough.
looking for Tommy.
See,
and, yeah.
And that's why it's good that I have two people who have played the game, because that was something I thought about without actually having an explanation, you know? So, another thing, I always find it really frustrating when people try to defend the game, because I think you're doing a phenomenal job of it, even though I don't agree with you at all on the game. I think that you have a much more balanced approach to it than all those people who just get angry and say, oh, you just don't like lesbians. Because nobody cared that there were lesbians, like that Ellie was lesbian in, like, the add-on to the first game.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it clear that she's a lesbian, not even in the add-on? Like, in the original game, it's clear. Like, doesn't she talk about her girlfriend?
Mm-hmm. I don't know, I've never played the original game either, so...
I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure she specifically states that her and her girlfriend...
Yeah, but you could argue,
Figured out that
sometimes
she was
girls
a-
refer to their
I
friends as girlfriends.
I don't remember.
Oh, you're right.
It's been
You're
too
right.
long.
But nobody cared about that, and our boss, mine and Rem's boss here, you know the one, the manager, that was his thought, is he thought people didn't like it because the characters were lesbian, and I wasn't going to have that conversation, because frankly I think that our boss has some dumb opinions, but...
Were we talking about Ricky D with the leather jacket?
Yes, Ricky D, that's not even close to his name, but I love it. I'm not giving out any names. That's not my style. I never give out names without permission of the person, even if it's just first names. So, like, when I do Tales from the Drive-Thru, I change the names of my managers and stuff when I'm talking about who I worked with at McDonald's. And in fact, there's a manager who I refer to as Rimmer because he had the exact same personality. Yeah, you know Rimmer because we've watched Red Dwarf, or at least a few. We've watched the first season and most of the second season.
Ellie also acts out a character the entire time during that. Like, the fact that she's been in this situation before with raiders and storming a house, and the way she's storming the house is just not the way she would storm a house in the first game. Also, for example, she opens up that door and she sees Joel Miller being hit with the best sport ever, golf.
And it starts up the Wii golf theme. Exactly. I think there's been edits I've seen that have added that.
She runs in, and she knows other people are in the room. She just runs right on in with the gun just pointed out. She's like, stop! Of course she's going to get hit. Of course she is.
I think she probably just did that out of desperation because she was afraid for Joel's life.
I don't know.
So
when she was afraid for Joel's life in the first game, she was acting pretty reasonable. You know, with the cannibal and stuff like that. You said it's been a while for since you played the game.
Yeah,
but do you not at all remember that when Joel got injured and he was getting sick and was going to die?
You actually control Ellie for the first time.
Yeah, and you had to work with the cannibal in order to get stuff for him to survive when the cannibal was previously an enemy.
Well, I feel like Joel had a chance, you know what I mean? And Joel was gonna be able to live at least a few hours so she could get the stuff to help him.
I will say, during that scene, though, when he's being beaten by golf, I really liked his line, say what you're gonna say. Say what you're gonna say and get on with it.
Yeah, there we go.
Like, that was a really good line. That was very Joel Miller.
I just felt like the immediacy of the situation kind of made her abandon all reason, because considering,
And you could argue that people like adrenaline and stuff, but
Yeah, maybe, but I still don't think it's within Ellie's character to actually
Sure.
do that. I think she's acted reasonable before.
well,
And also, killing isn't really an issue for her. Also shown in the first game, she's constantly, like, I remember someone, like, there was a video shared online of when there was one of the bad guys running away from Joel, and Ellie like hopped out of a window and attacked the guy as he was running, and you just see his dead body just flop over from behind the wall. It's just so stupid.
Why was he attacking the guy again?
Huh?
Why was she attacking the guy again?
It was one of the cannibals, I'm pretty sure.
I think the difference is survival versus revenge. She was killing.
The
for
guy was
survival.
running away.
Cannibal, though. I don't know.
okay. Well, let me say this, because you said you really liked the ending. Let's talk about the ending.
All right.
And I'm going to say this as someone completely ignorant, and I'm sure I'll be corrected on this, but from what I understand, in the ending, Ellie's about to kill her. She's, like, fucked up Ellie's hand, knocked off her fingers or her hand, one of the two. And then, like, Ellie's about to kill Abby.
Ellie's
right?
missing some of her fingers.
Some of her
Yeah,
fingers,
so
that's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's relevant for later.
And Ellie's about to kill Abby. And
Yes.
then she has a random flashback of Joel, like, playing guitar or something.
Teaching her how to play guitar.
Yeah. And then just is suddenly like, oh, I'm not going to kill you. Rather than having, like, a relevant flashback, maybe of Joel saying, hey, revenge is bad, or something like that. Instead, she just has a random flashback of him, which to me would think, oh, you took this from me, so now I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, exactly. That's she gets a flashback. So Abby has bitten off some of Ellie's fingers, specifically the fingers she needs to play guitar, and she's also killed Joel. And so when you have a flashback about Joel teaching you how to play guitar, when the person who took all of that away from you is right, she just needs to be held underwater for a couple more seconds.
Mm-hmm.
That would motivate me to finish the job.
Yeah,
not
same.
decide to be all like, okay, you know what?
Well, and now you can't
Revenge
play
bad.
guitar because you're missing fingers.
Exactly.
And I know because you really liked the ending. So.
Yeah, I felt like there was a very palpable emotion to it. I felt very much for Ellie and Abby and really everyone involved.
I could agree that the game wants you to feel emotion.
Yeah.
I felt it for sure. It hit me like a ton of bricks. It was very intense.
Okay.
Like
camping, it was intense.
I think like I brought up to my friend Mixie Muckle Mug.
Okay. You could have just said like Billy Bob or some shit, but instead you got to say Mixie Muckle Mub.
I mean, sounds like a real name to me.
That's their actual name. You just dox that person.
I'm gonna go look them up on Facebook right now.
It was like just remembering a happy moment of like Joel being intact.
Yeah, so then they took those happy moments from you, so why would you not be pissed off and kill her?
Exactly. She's the reason why you don't have your fingers play guitar, and the reason why you don't have your dad figure, who taught you how to play guitar.
I felt like that was enough for her to realize that this is the end of the line.
Did you know that in the first game, you actually don't have to kill the doctor?
Really?
Yeah, you don't.
I thought that the ending didn't have any choices.
No, you don't actually have to kill the doctor. So the game does something very unique. I wouldn't say it's unique actually. So it tallies up the kills you've made and shows you how many people you killed. Like tells you the number of how many people you killed.
When does it do that? I don't remember that.
It does do that. But the game will not count the doctor's death as a death if you shoot him in the foot.
Like, are we talking like the end screen is when it tallies up your deaths and
Yes.
stuff? Okay. Kind of like in Doom, like the old Dooms, where it's telling you what percentage of demons you killed and all that.
Yeah. So if you shoot the doctor in the foot, it doesn't count that as a death. So he doesn't die.
That actually, there's another game that did exactly that, and they make you think you have to kill him.
Yeah.
Have you ever played Call of Duty Black Ops 2?
No, I haven't played that one yet.
Okay, well, spoilers for that. I don't know if either of you
Don't
care.
care.
It's
I
Call
don't.
of Duty, so I don't know why you would. Actually, Call of Duty Black Ops 2 is my favorite plot. But
my favorite story mode would probably be Modern Warfare 2.
that's a good one too. I really like the ending to that. In Black Ops 2, You know who, what's his name? Alex Mason, the guy from the first Black Ops? Yeah, Alex Mason. There's a scene where they have a bag over his head, and you don't know it's him.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to shoot this person. And, when you shoot him, you're supposed to assassinate him. But if you shoot him in the leg, he doesn't die, and then the bag falls off his head, and you realize it's Alex Mason. So that creates two different continuities, one where Alex survives, and one where you kill him. And it actually does affect the plot at least a little bit later on.
I just think it's kind of funny that you could decanonize Last of Us 2 and if you just play Last of Us 1 without killing the doctor.
True. There are other things I could bring up that did the Revenge is Bad thing better, but I'm going to use one that does it worse. But if you guys don't want to hear spoilers, I won't talk about it. You guys ever seen the anime Claymore?
I have yet to see it.
I've yet to see it, and I kind of wanted to watch it.
My boss, my boss, back when I worked at the zoo, my boss wanted me to watch it or read it. So, I mean, I don't really care too much. I mean, I've had things spoiled for me, and then forget about, like, the entirety of Your Name was spoiled for me, but I still was in shock when I watched it.
If Mr. Female Shinigami here doesn't want me to spoil it, I won't. It's an anticlimactic ending, I'll say that.
You know what? Go for it.
Okay, because here's
honestly,
the thing.
If you're trying to say that it does the Revenge Bad plot wrong, then maybe I don't want to give it a watch.
No, Claymore's amazing. It does not ruin the anime.
Oh, okay, cool.
The Claymore, you're in it for the journey.
Ah,
not a
the real Claymore was the friends we made along the way.
Exactly. Claymore is about these demons called Yoma that have gone around and killed a bunch of people, and there's these half demons called Claymore that are employed by a secret organization to fight them. And Claymores are exclusively female because when they had male Claymores, they would awaken, but they would awaken, and that was what awakening is it turns them into a full monster.
It's not like a sexual thing.
It's not a sexual thing.
Okay.
Technically, it is a sexual thing because it's a sexual trait. Because the male Claymores would turn into awakened beings much quicker than female Claymores would. Because of their testosterone, it would accelerate them and turn them into the, as they call them, voracious eaters, which are the awakened beings that are basically like Super Yoma. And Claymore's about this girl named Claire. And long story short, she's a Claymore, but her story's a little bit different, but I'll avoid spoiling that because I actually think that's much more important than the ending. It becomes a plot of revenge where someone she was very close to was killed.
Very sad.
Yeah. And so she's going up against the person who killed that person at the end. And there's this little boy named Rocky who's been tagging along with her the entire series.
Nice.
And
little sidekicks.
But in the final battle, when Claire's about to kill, I think her name's Ophelia or something like that, she's about to kill her. And Rocky comes in and out of nowhere just starts screaming, "No! There's been too much bloodshed! Don't kill her!" And then Claire just puts her sword down and leaves. And that's the end.
Really?
Yeah. It's awful. Like, it's just so anticlimactic.
From what it sounds like, that doesn't sound very good at all.
Well, that's basically what Last of Us 2 did.
Assuming you're not lying.
Nah.
That's pretty suck.
Would you agree that's basically what Last of Us 2 did?
Yes.
Yeah, see? How is it not?
I just really enjoyed what they did there.
Okay.
Because you guys are coming out with compelling arguments.
Yeah. And I'm not saying you have no right to like it. If you like it, that's perfectly fine.
So, something I would like to say about the gameplay, about how it's against the message of Revenge Bad. I genuinely think two different teams worked on the story and the gameplay.
Okay.
And the people with the gameplay, they told the people who work on the story, dude, we came up with all these crazy ways you could kill people. Like you could shove a shotgun down their throat and then just blow their head off. And then they were like, but the story is Revenge Bad. And they're like, oh, I mean, I guess we could remove that. So, first of all, there's very violent ways you could kill people, and sparing people is not an option. It just isn't. There's a mechanic that could happen in the game where when you kill everyone and there's one person left, they will surrender. However, the game goes nowhere with it. It's happened quite a few times for when I was playing it, but I want to talk about two specific times when it happened. The first time it happened, I genuinely thought this is something interesting. Like, maybe I could, like, you know, get information from her. She could give me some like stuff, right? So I wasn't shooting her and was just waiting for, like, an option to appear up. And then eventually she just says, oh, fuck this. And then she pulls out a weapon and I just shoot her. Because what else was I going to do, right? Wasn't very smart on her part. And then this, it wasn't the second time it happened, but it was some other times later when it happened. I decided, you know what, I'm just going to move, like, while he's sitting there cowering. Because I figured out a time before that they will just sit there and cower no matter, like, where you are, right? So while he was cowering, I just decided to go and loot, right? And when I came back to him, he was dead. The game never gives you an option to spare someone. If the person is giving you the ability to spare, if you just leave the game, leave the area and come back, the guy just dies.
So, another anime I was going to mention that I actually think did a better job with it, but I don't know if I'll bring up what actually happens in this one, because I know that he's seen some of it. There's this anime called 91 Days that's about the mafia.
Yeah, I need to finish that.
I've never even heard of it.
And I've told you multiple times, right, how I have very mixed feelings about the ending.
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave it at that. Those of you who have seen it, you know what I'm talking about.
Fucking kick-ass intro, though.
Oh, I love the intro. It's one of my favorite anime openings.
Oh, absolutely.
Intros tend to be good.
Oh, yeah.
I've got to say.
Yeah, 91 Days is great. I would recommend giving it a watch. The ending I have very mixed feelings about, but it's not bad. It's just... Again, I can't really say much without spoiling it. It's a decent ending, but there were some things that were left to be desired.
It's kind of like how I was going to tell you nothing about Evolution until you watched it.
Yeah, a good segue. So we just finished that movie, Evolution, which is about this alien meteor crashing down on Earth. And,
Don Cheadle's in it, I think.
Don Cheadle is in it, you're right.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's an inside joke that no one's going to get, and I'm not going to explain it because that defeats the purpose of inside jokes. But,
exactly.
Anyway, this meteor crashes into the Earth with these, like, single-cell organisms on it that evolve rapidly. They evolve into, like, multi-cell organisms, and then eventually...
They evolve into multi-celled organisms within 8 hours.
Yeah. And then within just a few days, we've got vertebrates, we've got dragons, we've got primates, we've got...
Yeah, it's a little bit faster than normal.
Yeah. Just a little.
just a tiny bit.
And the entire movie was designed to be the best product placement ever.
Yeah, it's all about Head and Shoulders.
Head and shoulders, knees and toes, eyes, ears, mouth, and nose.
I didn't even know that was a fucking shampoo commercial fucking brand, whatever, until that movie.
You never heard of Head and Shoulders?
I don't
You've
think
never heard
so.
of it? Oh.
At least it's...
I've used it before when I had dandruff.
That's all my grandma uses.
I don't recall, you know what I mean? Maybe I've seen it before, but I don't... We get Tresemme or Suave.
Like Rico Suave?
It's Rico Suave, whatever that is.
I actually don't know. It's like this like Chad type guy, but I don't know what he... Is he a porn star? I don't know what he does. Rico Suave, everybody.
Yeah,
great guy.
Please type in the comments what he is. So,
and tell me why you would like to bang Rico Suave, because he is the handsomest of boys. But, no, it's a very fun movie. Good stuff. It was a comedy.
Pretty good movie.
Comedy. Had Julianne Moore in it. And we asked the question. I asked the question during the movie. Julianne Moore, smash or pass, everybody. These two said pass. I said smash because fuck it, I have no standards. But I actually don't think she's that bad. I think she's actually kind of attractive.
I mean, I like her choice of hair color.
How do you know that's not her natural hair color? You think that's a choice, you bigot? What are you, a hairist?
Orange hair doesn't actually exist.
Her face is just...
I don't know.
It's not my face. It's not my
Well, I would hope it's not your face. If I saw a girl with your face, I'd be very not attracted.
It's not the type of face that I would,
You would want to stick your dick in.
What?
Jesus.
You wouldn't want to go on facialabuse.com with her.
I wouldn't want to become one with something like that. You know?
Yeah, it's not a face you'd want to skull fuck.
Are we done with T. Louis the Second?
Well, not necessarily. We can come back to it. Again, this is all over the place. This is the nature of the shit show. We just talk about whatever.
I was just wondering.
But we have kind of transitioned from that topic, but if you choose to go back to it, you are welcome to.
Last of Us Part 2 is great. Okay.
You're wrong.
Transitioned.
Objectively.
Would you... Do you got anything else that...
I did want to bring up a little bit more.
Sure, go for it.
So one thing that I realized while playing is that, revenge bad.
Yes.
obviously. Also, there's consequences for revenge. Even, like, Ellie broke her, the revenge, the cycle of revenge.
Well, actually, let me add a point to that.
Go ahead.
Is there any reason for Abby not to just kill Ellie in Last of Us Part 3?
Part 2?
I think you mean part 2.
No, if they were to do a Part 3.
Oh, do a part 3? I mean, I guess. I thought you were going to bring up in the opening, why did she spare Ellie?
Like, is there any reason for her not to kill Ellie now that Ellie's let her live? Because that's clearly not something Abby gives a shit about, because Joel literally saved her life. And she still killed him.
Yeah.
She also saved Lev's life, though, so I think that's a big
it's
part.
going a different direction at this point, like if they do make a third one.
But let's
It's
say
gonna go in a
hypothetically they stuck
different
to their plan
direction.
from 2 to 3.
I think Abby would, because she also knows that Ellie's pretty formidable. Oh yeah, there's
this
another
point,
part I
that's
don't
something
like
I
about the
should
game.
Did you see like how anemic Abby looks at the end of the game?
I
She
have,
loses-
but I don't remember. Cause,
She loses like all of her body mass.
right.
So
She loses all those fucking gains?
Exactly.
What was... You had something you didn't like, though?
Yeah. When Ellie becomes a boss, essentially, that was an annoying part in the game. You remember that?
I really enjoyed it. I loved all the fun ways to kill kill Abby. I enjoyed just sitting there, just doing nothing and letting Ellie kill me. Like, I had a lot of fun with that.
Okay, first attempt for me, because I'm of the opinion that I like both a lot. So I was like, what's gonna happen? Who's gonna win here? So the first couple attempts were intense, but then when I was failing over and over again, I was just getting frustrated. It was really stupid. So basically,
I can imagine if you weren't there to die like I was, it would be pretty frustrating.
Is it a hard boss fight?
Yeah.
It's annoying more than anything. It's,
Okay.
it's like imagine a set piece. It's a big room. There's a lot of corners that you can like sneak through. And there's like little bits of broken glass, and if you like step on it, Ellie's like, "I found you," and then she'll go after you. Yeah. So you want to stay the hell away from making noise, and you just want to basically get behind her and then start the next part of the battle. So then there's a shortcut scene, and then Ellie's a bit more ragged, and then you just keep going. You do it like 3 times, I think. But you don't want to just straight up go ham on her, because that just won't work. Because
You don't want to go ham in the paint.
she'll fucking outclass you, and if you like just try to go up there and just like beat the shit out of her, no, she'll stab you and kill you. So you have to sneak up on her, and
You have to nick snake, trademark. That's another inside joke neither of you even get, but we'll continue.
the best time to do that is I thought it was kind of cool, but her crafting bag. She also crafts things during that fight.
Oh.
And you want to sneak up behind her when she's crafting something. Anyways, I didn't like that part of the game. I thought it was annoying. I liked the story part behind it, but the actual gameplay was annoying.
You know that game's banned in several countries because of the gross sex scenes?
Nice.
Yeah. And I think also
That's
because like a lot of the Middle East doesn't allow games that like have homosexuality in them. I could be wrong on that. So if I'm being wrong and bigoted, let me know in the comments for sure. As I'm sure people will do, because people like to let me know how bigoted I am. So that's gonna be a fun time. But it is banned in the Middle East, in many parts of the Middle East, for obscenity and indecency. I think that's what they called it.
Stupid.
Also, I think it's funny that Sony censors like anime games for like having like a little too much ankle. I mean, that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. Like lewd outfits get censored all the time on PlayStation, but this is okay. That those fucking really gross sex
actual
scenes.
straight up sex scene.
Yeah.
Is just fine.
Yeah. But that's more of a problem with Sony than the last.
I think they just get intimidated by the anime girls, so they just have to.
They are way more attractive.
They are, but here's what they do: they get intimidated by Abby because she'll beat them up.
Exactly.
And so they let her do what she wants.
So in the game you find these cards of superheroes.
They're awesome,
right? But there's one for Dr. Uckman. Brains 100.
Yeah, and it's Neil Druckmann, yeah.
Yeah, it's clearly a self-insert, and he gave himself Brains 100. How humble of him.
So humble. I mean, I'm not going to use that as a genuine criticism, because Go Nagai has literally made himself God in some of his stuff, so...
Yeah.
Not in all of them, not canonically, only in, like, fun, goofy spin-offs, like in Chibi-Chara Go Nagai World, he made himself God.
Huh. Okay. I just wanted to bring that
Well,
up.
I'm a
I thought
cuck,
that
so
was
I'd probably be like a worm if I were to insert myself in the story.
I like how you are a self-avowed cuck. Yeah, he made a comment when we were watching Evolution earlier. I'm not going to get into it, but yeah. I think you need that testosterone I was talking about earlier. But yeah, I think that, yeah, that game, shit.
No, it's great.
Okay.
I wanted to bring up another thing with the mechanics of the game. So, in the game, sometimes when you kill someone, or even a dog, one of the NPCs will call out their name. It'll just give a random name to them, right?
Caesar!
Exactly.
Spoiler.
And it does nothing with that. Like, imagine if in a game, I think this would be pretty cool, if you killed an NPC's friend and like it did like these unique things that the NPC would react. Like, would they cower? Would they go to their body and see if they could help them, or would they just rush you?
Yeah,
the game doesn't do any of that.
That's actually a really good idea.
That is cool, though. Yeah.
But a game that you guys have probably heard before, Fear.
Love Fear.
Has a moment in the game where if you actually just like if an NPC is if an enemy NPC is locked behind something and you're just shooting at that thing, they won't get up. And so what will happen is their allies will throw grenades at you to get you to move, so that way that person who's locked behind there will move.
You know, Fear was like the second game that scared the hell out of me the first time I played it. Like, there are only 2 games that ever terrified me. Well, no, that's not true. There's been some survival horror games that scared me when I was a little faggy teenager.
Minecraft, dude, it's...
But, like, Slender scared me when I was a teenager, which was stupid, but, you know.
You know, I actually hyped myself up to be scared of Slender. I turned off all the lights. I listened to, like, Slenderman documentaries, and, you know, I was genuinely scared until I saw him in the game, and I was like...
That's not scary. Slendy Tubbies I actually think is scarier than Slender.
Slendy Tubbies?
Yeah, it's a mod. Like, it's a fan project.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was gonna say, so like Fear was one of the first games that actually genuinely terrified me. The first game that terrified me was Doom 3, which was actually my introduction to Doom. Which is probably why I don't hate Doom 3 the way a lot of the Doom fan base. Doom 3 is kind of divisive among the fan base. There's those who hate it and those who love it. I fucking love it. I think Doom 3
like how there's those who hate ODST and those who love it, and you love it.
Yes, but I also think people are starting to come around on ODST.
Yeah, probably because Halo 5 was so bad, though.
Yeah, and also because they included ODST with MCC, and people just getting it as either a free add-on if they had MCC day one, or a $5 add-on after the fact. I think people are more accepting of it that way. Yeah. I think people were upset that they had to pay full price for it, but I didn't mind that. I thought it was a great game.
I think really good multiplayer.
Yeah, it did.
I had a lot of fun playing it.
Yeah, and like I love Firefight. Great.
Disappointing we didn't get the what ending was it called?
Oh, the one for getting all the audio logs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because didn't we miss like 1 or 2?
We missed 1.
Yeah.
And we weren't allowed to go back.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh, we'll be fine. But then, like, we got to the point of no return. I'm like, damn it, now we're stuck and we have to go to Data Hive.
Exactly.
Yeah, I completely forgot it locked off that section of the map after the fact. So that was my bad.
We just have to do the mission again.
Yeah, because no, we just have to go back to Mombasa Streets. It saved our progress with that, so we can still do that.
And I do plan to go back and do it because I would like that ending.
The slightly secret ending, the slightly different ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love ODST. ODST is one of my favorite soundtracks of any video game too.
Name a game that has a bad soundtrack.
A bad soundtrack?
Yeah, it's soundtrack.
Bad soundtrack?
I can answer that.
I'm sure you can.
It's just a lot of people say that this has a good soundtrack, and I always like stumping them with name a game that has a bad soundtrack. And then they start thinking, I guess the game doesn't have a bad soundtrack, but I have a good example.
Back to the Future on NES.
My answer is Beetlejuice on NES.
Also, although I personally actually kind of like the theme song, it gets really annoying and repetitive. Takeshi's Challenge. It's just literally just over and over again.
Yeah.
Can't really think of a bad soundtrack per se.
And by the way, there's only 3 songs in the entire game, and that one you will hear for like 90% of the game.
He really wanted you to hate the fucking game.
Yeah, I feel like he intentionally made it annoying because the game is just a big fuck you to gamers, and that's why I love it. But Takeshi's a great guy. We're going to actually be watching one of his movies tonight. We're going to be watching the best one, in my opinion, Hanabi or Fireworks. I typically just call it Fireworks, but a lot of people we'll know it as Hanabi because it's been released under both names in the U.S.
Yeah.
And my digital copy that I bought is under the name Hanabi, but my DVD is under Fireworks. Because it's the older DVD. So I'm curious. I think this version will actually be higher definition that we watched tonight. So there's an added bonus to me double buying it.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It'll be a fun time.
And Takeshi's my favorite director. Do you guys have favorite directors?
Yeah, I think so.
Who's yours?
Makoto Shinkai.
What did he do?
He does Your Name, Weathering with You, 5 centimeters per second, Voices of a Distant Star. I think there's like one other thing.
Did he do silent voice?
No, I thought he did.
No, that was some girl. I don't remember her name.
Oh yeah, you're right.
She also did Liz and the Bluebird, which is decent, but not nearly as good.
This is also the guy who bought me a silent voice. So when I showed him my DVD collection updates, this guy's the one who got it for me because we watched it together, and it's a great movie. Loved it.
Oh yeah, love that movie.
Favorite director for me, I honestly don't.
Yeah, it's okay if you don't have one.
I mean, one that I could point out that I really like is the one who directed Final Destination 1 and 3.
Okay. Because of the consistency he puts into it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Everything has a purpose, and all things kind of tie back together.
Like all the little, like when she's like looking through the photos and kind of piecing everything together in the third one.
That's 3.
Yeah.
Yes, kind of. The Final Destination franchise is very like heavy on seeing the signs of death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So everything in the background is for us to see as well.
Yeah.
So the characters don't see everything in the background.
That freaking mortician is probably the thing closest to what you might consider the personification of death.
And I actually disagree with that theory.
You're talking about Bloodworth.
Yeah. Bloodworth is... I think he is a survivor from a game. From his own game.
Yeah, he has the theory that Bloodworth is actually someone who was meant to die like all the other people in the movies. But he's been able to survive so long because he figured out how to dodge it.
Yeah, and he became a mortician to see how the common ways that death tries to kill people. And that's also why he doesn't appear in 3 and 4 as a person, because death finally got him.
Yeah, see, I think that's a pretty interesting theory.
Plus, why would death actually help people beat it?
Yeah, I mean, unless it's some sort of toy with people.
Yeah, it's a toy.
Or maybe he likes a challenge.
Maybe.
So I think that's a viable theory, and I think you're the only person I've ever heard express that.
I'm not the only one.
Okay, well, I said you're the only person I've heard express it.
And I just want to make it clear I'm not the only one.
The Final Destination is good. I like that.
Yeah, those are good movies. I've seen. I watched 5 recently.
And apparently you've seen 1 and 2.
Yeah, I've seen 1 and 2.
I remember the fucking guy was like, "Hey, lay off the rice cakes, Buddha," and that's the fucking thing that smashes his head.
Oh, funny story. When we were watching, and he'll back me up on this. When we were watching it 5 together, this was my first time seeing it. I'm like, he's gonna get squished by that Buddha statue. Like the second they showed the statue, I immediately said that.
Yeah, and he did.
Yeah.
Spoilers, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I don't think people go into Final Destination for the plot.
I like the first one. You know, with the teacher.
Yes.
I think it's all these other things that's gonna finally kill her, but then it ends up being the knife.
And there's a hidden thing in the background for us with that. When the computer explodes and hits her, when she backs up to her door is stained glass and it has a knife on it, and it would be positioned on her back when she hit the door.
Very nice. Now, have you guys have both seen Another, right?
Yes.
Another?
Yeah,
it's an anime Final Destination.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
I think I've seen 1 episode.
Except it's not like they were supposed to die. The game the
Calamity, they call it.
The Calamity curses them because there's one too many people in the class.
Mm-hmm. And so it kills everyone, unless they find the imposter by finding out who's sus. But
yeah.
I saw this really bad... Well, it wasn't bad. It was animated well enough. But it was this really stupid Family Guy animation that someone did a fan animation. And it's like, oh, wow, this reminds me of the time I was sus. And it's like Peter as an Among Us character. And it's really stupid. Like, it wasn't like that funny, but I'm like, they animated it well.
So they gave a shit, clearly.
Yeah. Among Us is a fun game, by the way, as well, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
I actually wanted to play some of it today with you, but we're busy with all this.
Yeah, no, we can certainly do it. I don't know if we can today, but certainly sometime soon. Hell, the 3 of us could play it and gather up a group if we can find more people.
Yeah.
We could play with randos if we really wanted to.
We could just open it up to public.
Yeah, there you go.
It's fine.
Yeah, and then we're all in a chat and we can cheat.
Yeah, exactly.
And I hate it when people do that. When I catch people cheating, I always call them out and say we need to eject them for cheating. Because, like, there was one time I was playing with someone, and they're like, Red killed my friend. I'm like, we need to eject this person. because they're very clearly cheating.
Hmm.
And they said that when they were nowhere near the body, so that's how I was like, okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I guess you're red then?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I happen to... I'm very good at catching cheaters in that game.
Oh, I see.
But, other than that, we...
Back to T. Louis II.
Again, no, but... here's the thing, right? This is a great segue. Let's just randomly switch to Gremlins 2. Why not? There's a segue for you. Very natural. Wasn't forced at all.
Very
at all.
broken down segue that barely works.
Oh, yeah.
It's a
No,
segue
but,
nonetheless.
Have you seen it, Rem?
No.
He has not seen either Gremlins.
Oh, no. You need to really watch
And
this.
granted, you hadn't until we watched the two.
No. Of course, I haven't. Until we watched
Yeah,
them.
and we watched them. Great movies. Absolutely fantastic movies.
But I had interest in watching them beforehand.
Yeah. I grew up with both of them, and as a kid I always said Gremlins 1 was better. I actually think I prefer Gremlins 2 now, but here's the thing. I think that Gremlins 1 has a better plot. Gremlins 2 is funnier.
Yeah.
Because Gremlins 2, for those of you who don't know, is kind of a self-parody of Gremlins. Like, it mocks itself. It calls out plot holes. It breaks the fourth wall. It gets increasingly more and more ridiculous as the movie goes on. And, of course, it has the best character in the movie, the Brain Gremlin.
Yeah, show me a clip of that.
Oh, yeah.
The Brain Gremlin is absolutely the best character in all of fiction.
Yeah, he's up there, for sure. Like, as far as comedy goes, he's definitely in my top 5.
Yeah.
Like, there's a scene where he's being interviewed. And I think that's the clip I showed you, right? With the little one, like...
He's being interviewed. What do you and your kind want?
And he's talking about how he wants civilization, you know?
What I want is what you and your viewers have. Civilization. What we really want is civilization. We want to be civil with each other. We don't want to be animals. We want to treat each other like we're actual friends. See, look at this fellow.
And then he shoots him. And then he's like, that wasn't civilized, was it? Fun, sure, but not civilized. And it has Christopher Lee in it as this, like, mad scientist who's, like, obsessed with diseases and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's 2 different versions of the fourth wall breaking scene. There's one with Hulk Hogan and one with John Wayne. And they're both great in their own right. But the Hulk Hogan one was made for the theatrical release, and the John Wayne one was made specifically for the VHS release, because they wanted to make it feel more immersive towards breaking the fourth wall, and making it feel like the Gremlins were actually messing with your movie. The Hulk Hogan one was the one put on the DVD, but the John Wayne one is also included as an Easter egg on the DVD. They're both fucking great scenes, though.
What was the John Wayne one like? Because you told me about the Hulk Hogan one.
So they mess with your VHS, because obviously it's your VHS,
Mm-hmm.
and then they start going into other movies, like VHS movies, and John Wayne's just telling them to go back to their own movie,
And so then they
have
have
a shootout.
Yeah, they have a standoff, and they're shooting at each other, and John Wayne kills all the Gremlins there, and he's like, I warned them.
Yeah. Now enjoy the rest of your movie.
Yeah.
He says to us.
Good stuff. I'm going to pause this real quick. Okay, picking up where we left off after I went and fixed the problem with Reactor.
He peed in the toilet and flushed it.
And washed my hands.
And it fixed Reactor, okay?
Yeah, why'd you have to ruin the joke? We were having this whole big fun time where we're actually on the ship. We're all crewmates, except I'm the imposter, and I'll eventually kill you both, but...
Oh, come on. Save me for last.
I don't know. I think you're acting kind of sus, Angelo.
It's pretty sus to say I'm gonna kill you both and that I'm the imposter. It's like that guy literally saying he is the imposter in that Among Us, but it's a reality show thing you showed me, or whatever it's called.
Yeah. Among Us, but it's a reality show.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And I guess these two want to move on from Gremlins 2 and go back to the beginning, but I'm going to actually say some more things about Gremlins 2.
We can talk about Gremlins 2 before we move back to T. Louis II.
Okay, good.
I have a good joke, by the way. Just wait for it.
Oh, okay. Also, one thing I really like about the John Wayne scene of Gremlins 2 is it actually has the Bugs Bunny clip about Gremlins that was made way before Gremlins was.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really good to include there.
And apparently there's, like, promotional stuff where the Brain Gremlin is... telling you about the movie.
Yeah, I showed you some of those. Yeah, like they made them. They made like these promotional things to send out to video stores where the Brain Gremlin's encouraging you to stock Gremlins 2 as a movie you carry in your store. And I think that's a great way to, because the Brain Gremlin was easily, and they also did some like stuff with the Brain Gremlin that was like promotional for like hotels, but they like had a different voice actor.
It was jarring. It was kind of weird.
Yeah. No one comes like Tony Randall was the better voice, obviously, because he's the original. He was fantastic. The Brain Gremlin's great, and I like that. The reason the Gremlins even all mutate is because the Brain Gremlin like encourages them to do it.
Yeah.
Like, and he becomes the de facto leader, because Mohawk, which is basically because in Gremlins 1 there's the leader called Stripe, then there's this one called Mohawk.
I thought his name was Strike.
I've heard his name was Spike, but they never said Spike in the movie, and in the credits he's credited as Mohawk. So.
Oh, okay.
But Spike becomes the Spider Gremlin, and then like after that, Brain Gremlin arguably becomes the de facto leader, even before Gizmo goes Rambo and fights him. And that Rambo stuff's pretty great too.
Yeah, Gizmo going Rambo is pretty great, and I love how, you know, when our main character meets up with Gizmo Rambo, like, you know, the girlfriend's like, what made him do this, right? And he's like, I guess he was pushed too far.
And I'm pretty sure that's a line from First Blood.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, so they actually go Rambo.
Like he literally puts on the headband and grabs like a little bow.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were just saying going like all out, going.
No, he literally
cock.
becomes full cock. I realize what you're saying with that. Was that intentional? Was that supposed to be a penis thing, or were you just saying full cock as in full cock?
No, it was a penis thing.
Okay.
But it works for a gun too, right?
Well, you say you go in full cocked, it's like that's an expression. That's a genuine expression. That drawer's broken. You're not going to get it to stay.
Oh yeah, then yeah.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
I'm playing with it.
Okay. Just letting you know. You know, don't want you to do something futile like resist ice cream.
Yeah.
You know, you like ice cream. You like ice cream. You
and
love
also,
it. Your
and
existence
also
is meaningless without ice cream.
And also talk about how T. Louis II is actually a good game.
Oh really? Okay. Well, have you converted? Oh, okay. That's futile. I was gonna say you better not have converted on me, because I brought you in to balance out him.
I'm fucking outnumbered here.
It's true.
Aiko likes it.
Yeah, Aiko doesn't have a brain though.
Yeah, she's quite literally a dumb bitch. Aiko's the dog, by the way, for those of you watching at home. As opposed to watching it anywhere else. Those of you watching it at work, sorry, I'm not addressing you.
Yeah. Those of you watching it while you're at the theaters, where you're supposed to be watching Jurassic Park, fuck you.
Where you're supposed to be watching the masterpiece, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, where they have a dinosaur gun.
I mean, you guys could go ahead and watch this video instead of watching that.
Yeah, that movie's garbage. But I like I like the other 4 movies.
Yeah, they're okay. I mean, the first one's great. The other ones are okay.
Well, the first one's great. I think 3's actually pretty great, too.
I have nothing wrong with 3. Well, not anymore. Back when I was a kid, I had a huge problem with 3 because,
Yeah, he has a bias against the Spinosaurus.
Yes.
Go for it, because this is our resident dinosaur expert, by the way. He is, in fact, the extreme dinosaur.
No, it's
Dinophile?
He's a dinophile. I seen him balls deep in a fucking velociraptor once.
Dude, the Allosaurus is way more attractive than Velociraptor.
Velociraptor, that's the one. I seen him. See, our dinosaur expert, boys.
No, it was like when 3 came out, T-Rex started falling out of favor because it happened with all the stuff saying that it's actually a scavenger, not an actual, you know, like that kind of stuff started happening. And then Spinosaurus was just recently discovered, which was a few inches bigger, few feet actually bigger than T-Rex. And since they didn't know much about Spinosaurus at the time because it was just discovered, they're like, okay, that's going to be our new bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had the Spinosaurus kill the T-Rex in the opening, in the beginning of the movie, and that made me really salty as a little baby.
Just like T-Rex equals king, right? Basically.
Exactly. He's not called the king of the dinosaurs for nothing.
And Rex is king, I'm pretty sure.
T-Rex directly translates to Tyrant Lizard King.
Yeah.
Well, not T-Rex. Tyrannosaurus Rex translates to Tyrant Lizard King. But I actually think Jurassic Park 2 is worse than Jurassic Park 3.
I agree with that.
Yeah, because 2 is very boring and slow for like the first half of the movie. The second half of the movie is phenomenal.
Dude, the last like
third of it, like
the last third of it, where the T-Rex somehow killed all the people and broke out.
Yeah, I mean,
and then put himself back inside.
Yeah, you can ignore that because the scene with him rampaging through New York is her. Yeah, because it's Jurassic Park. Although they can spontaneously switch gender and they bred naturally, so we don't actually know that one's female.
We do know that one's female because the male was the one that wasn't captured.
Oh, did they say that?
Yes.
Okay.
The mother was the one
I
that was
agree with
captured.
the fact they're movies.
Have you seen Jurassic Park?
No.
You haven't seen... What is wrong with you?
Oh my god.
This motherfucker has not seen half the shit I ask him. Like, he hasn't seen Invader Zim, he hasn't seen Jurassic Park, he hasn't seen Lord of the Rings, he hasn't seen any of Star Wars except for A New Hope and then A New Hope again, aka Force Awakens.
Oh, great.
Yeah, those are the only two he's seen.
I would be more happy with... I would actually be happier if you just saw the prequels.
I have seen Friends with Benefits, though, so any fans out there...
He did force me to watch that.
Good movie.
It was trash. It was absolute garbage.
You only say... Okay. Picture 100 years ago.
Okay.
You're picturing it?
Okay.
In your mind?
Yes.
Okay. So 100 years ago, that came out. What would you think?
I'd still think it was garbage if I had my current mental state.
Well, saying it's like one of the
In
first
In,
rom-coms.
in 1920, that movie comes out, and it's in color with fully voiced...
Oh, are you trying to make the argument that it's predictable, therefore that's why people say it's bad?
That's not the only reason it's bad, it's just garbage.
Because I would actually... Because I make that argument with... Whenever I try to get people to watch Evangelion, it's always like, it's predictable trash for people. And then I tell them, imagine... They're the reason why all those cliches exist.
Evangelion's one of the first ones.
Yeah, Evangelion is the reason why all those cliches exist.
Well, yeah, here's the thing. Predictable does not necessarily equal bad.
Yeah, and I also wouldn't agree with that argument anyways, because it's not like Friends with Benefits was the first rom-com either.
Yeah.
So the fact that it's predictable is its fault.
Yes. But it's also just not very funny. I laughed 14 times during that movie. We counted as a gimmick. And all but 2 of those laughs were at things that Woody Harrelson's character said.
Yeah, and he was a major gay in that.
He was a major flamer.
He was pretty gay.
He was funny though. He was very funny.
Oh, he was a funny. I thought that would be probably his favorite character. Or at least I thought he would like him.
Because gay jokes are funny, and it's stupid that Family Guy's stopping doing them because they're cucks. But
what?
Oh yeah, they don't want to be offensive.
That's fucking Family Guy though.
I know, right? It's Family Guy. It's
Dude, they made a joke about New Orleans like a week after the hurricane hit.
They made a joke about. Do you guys know who? What was her name? Terry something. Terry. I don't remember. No, not that's not a girl. That's a man built like a brick, and Shepard. I love a brick house, and I love him.
Terry Shepard.
No. Who's Terry Shepard?
Finn Shepard.
Is Terry Shepard actually a person though?
Forgive me, Father, for I am thin. But I'm sure there's somebody named Terry Shepard. But anyway, Terry something. And she was a girl that was like kept alive on life support, and like she was basically brain dead.
Yeah.
And they did this musical number about how her family were terrible for keeping her alive and how she had mashed potato brains, and it was very distasteful and disrespectful. So they're upset. They're like, oh, we can't make gay jokes anymore because that's insensitive. We got to recast Cleveland because, I mean, granted, Mike Henry himself stepped down, and if he himself no longer feels comfortable in the role, and if it was truly his choice, they can't necessarily force him to do it. I think it's a stupid decision because cartoons are cartoons. But,
I don't know. I had a friend that died to a cartoon once.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Was it Judge Doom or whatever his name is?
I don't know.
Oh, did you not know what I was getting at with that?
No.
Have you never seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Oh, yeah, I have.
Eddie Valiant had a friend...
It's been such a long time.
Eddie Valiant had a friend that was killed
by a cartoon. Who died to a cartoon,
yes.
That's right.
And it was the villain at the end of the movie, Judge Doom.
Right.
I'm going to tell you something that might not surprise you.
You've never seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Oh, I fucking love Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's one of my favorites.
Dude,
the girl's hot.
I need to... Yeah. Jessica Rabbit is absolutely fucking... She's a bombshell.
Oh, yeah. Perfect 10.
Perfect 10.
Actually, her breasts are slightly too big, in my opinion.
Oh, do you think that?
I think... No, actually, no. Hers are good size.
Yeah.
Booby trap. I love that pun where there's like a mouse trap in her cleavage.
Yeah.
Now, Who Framed Roger Rabbit is terrific. And you know what I like? It got away with something that you could never do today. I
need to add that to my list real quick.
It had a ton of Warner Brothers and Disney characters all crammed into one movie.
Did you know that it was they had a contract for, because they wanted all those characters in, right? But the contract specifically stated that in order for them to get away with this, Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse has to have equal screen time. So a way to make sure that they had equal screen time is they always had them on the screen with each other.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that scene with... Well, of course you have. But you know the scene where Daffy Duck and Donald Duck are like playing pianos against each other?
Yeah.
There's a thing where Donald Duck says, doggone stupid little.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people that think he says something racist there instead.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Because the way Donald Duck talks, you can't really determine what he says. So they think he said goddamn stupid nigger, which is not what he said. Obviously, he said doggone stupid little. But it's funny just how Donald Duck can be misunderstood. Donald Duck did nothing wrong.
Free the duck.
Free the Donald. That has other connotations now, actually. I did not mean it like that, but I mean, I did mean it like that. Fuck you, but, no, you guys want to get back to Trash, aka Last of Us 2?
Yeah, and I agree with the fact that it's trash.
Nah, I'm just vibing now. Just gliding.
You vibing?
I'm good.
Okay, well,
I'm good.
So something I wanted to say was that because earlier we brought this up briefly, is that I actually thought it would have been pretty cool that if we did it, that we started with Abby, but on their way to Jackson, and we got to know all these people before they did the horrific thing.
You got to play Abby a little bit before she did the bad.
Yeah, but we're talking about on their way to Jackson.
Like that, that's such a. I mean, yeah, I like that idea. It might be kind of a cool idea.
We got to learn them and
DLC,
and then like if they did that, and they didn't tell us who they were going to go over there and kill, like we don't get that information until they're there.
I think that would have worked. Yeah.
Then we get to know these characters before, because the way they do the characters now, so like they try to make us like them after they did the bad thing. But here's the way that they try to make us like them. Like, Abby plays with a dog, therefore she's a good person.
I just feel like it's how Abby talked with the... I mean, I'm okay with that. I think that's a good idea. Like, a few hours, maybe.
Also, I think it would have been pretty cool if Ellie actually got a team of people to go help. Because, like, imagine a lot of people in Jackson would like Joel. And get a whole team with her to go avenge Joel. And I think personally, I think it would have been really cool if Seth, Bigot Sandwich Guy, was a part of that team. Because you could do stuff with the dynamic of that, with the dynamic of Bigot Sandwich Guy, who hates dykes, being with Ellie, and like have him have a sacrifice moment too. Like that would be, I personally think that would be pretty fun. So like as an example, so let's say as you, Angela, you might not know about the finer details of this. Let's say, think about someone who you madly respect, like upon anything else, right?
Someone I respect, like in real life.
Yeah.
My grandpa.
Okay, so imagine his corpse is on the ground and somebody spits on his corpse and says, "Puta vendejo, fuck you." And then they try to make you like this person by showing that he has a grandpa who he likes.
No, I don't care.
Exactly. Last of Us 2 does that. They try to make you like the people that did these bad things.
Well, yeah, because...
And the way they try to show you that these people are good people is that they have a family. Everyone has a fucking family.
Mm-hmm.
Joel killed Abby's father,
Okay.
So I don't think it was right.
I would make the argument he was a very bad person. Like the Fireflies wanted to do a lot. Like you think just finding a vaccine to the cure would save everyone's life? Because I don't.
Topical.
I think they would use that as leverage. Honestly, I think that's where the game was going, is that they were going to use that vaccine as leverage for their own power. Because like it's not like they could, and vaccines aren't going to save people from getting their throats ripped out by clickers.
Okay. From what I got, that sounds logical, but I think the doctor himself was a good guy.
Yeah, because he saved a zebra. I know. He's such a good person.
He also was very hesitant to go along with the procedure, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken.
If I'm not mistaken, he was trying to force an underage girl into doing a procedure. She never gave him a chance.
Well, he didn't think it was going to end in her death.
They needed to cut off her head. I'm pretty sure he knew that it was going to end in her death.
That reminds me of the quote from Red Dwarf episode 1, where he's like talking about I want that cat and I want to have it taken down to the lab and taken apart and tests run on it. And he's like, would you put it back together again when you're finished? And he's like, Lister, the cat would be dead.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like, he's the guy. He's the only guy who could do the procedure. I'm pretty sure he's 100% knowing that she's going to die because they have to remove her brain to do the procedure.
That's not how I remember it. I remember him being very hesitant.
I remember him pulling out a chainsaw, cutting off her head, doing the procedure, and then sewing it back on. Therefore, the ending is completely different than everyone remembers, because I'm from the other universe. But no, but because I've never played the game, so I'm just pulling shit out of my ass right now. But
I'll probably have to play it again, and because I remember him being very hesitant. I know, especially at least that I think her name's Marlene. Might be wrong. She was very hesitant. Remember all those recordings in the first one?
You know,
yeah.
Speaking of Marlene and changing that to Marlee, have you guys ever seen that movie Marley and Me?
Yeah.
Sad
you
movie.
Motherfucker.
Sad movie, isn't it?
I cheered when the dog died.
Did you know?
I didn't.
Okay, I was going to say, you heartless bastard.
I may have seen it, but I don't remember. I know it's about a dog death, though.
Yeah, dogs are better than cats. Anyone who says otherwise is objectively wrong.
Cats are better. Cats are fluffy. And cats...
And
dogs can be fluffy, too!
Yeah, is Kiki not fluffy?
She's fluffy, but cats, they have, like, cat fluff. You know what I mean?
Cat fluff is bad because I'm allergic to it.
It's like picture a dog.
Okay.
And then it's a cat now. So
I am picturing a dog.
I'm picturing a cat. And then all of a sudden, the dog's now a cat.
Doesn't that feel like an upgrade to you?
No.
No, it feels like a downgrade to me.
Because cats don't give a shit about you. They think they're your master. They want you to be subservient. Which I guess makes sense because you're a cuck, but you know. Anyone who likes cats is a cuck, confirmed. But cats want you to be subservient to them. They just see you as a source of food and water and shelter. I'm sure cats like you to an extent.
Yeah.
They do the purring.
They like their loyal servants.
Yeah.
They like the authorities.
Yeah. Sad. A series called Sad Something Diaries. Well, so they got Sad Cat Diaries and Sad Dog Diaries. The cats refer to the humans as the authorities, and the dogs refer to the humans as dearest human.
Yeah. And I think that just shows the difference there. Cats view you as someone who keeps them. If they're an inside cat, which I don't really know why inside cats are a thing, in all honesty, because cats can just kind of.
I mean, they live longer if they're inside cats.
Do they?
Yeah, on average, inside cats live 2 years longer than outdoor cats.
Okay. Because because I understand inside dogs, because dogs run away.
Yeah.
Granted, Chloe always came back when she ran away. That's Chloe up there, that urn. But, and Petey always comes back when he runs off. Kiki will come back too, but like those, we haven't let her run off as much. And it's not like we let Petey and Chloe run off.
I think one of the reasons keeping cats inside is because we had a cat named Cheddar, right? Fussball.
Oh, also keeping cats indoors.
Those names are completely
there
different.
are some
people. You're making up a fake name not to dox the cat.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
I get
dox
you.
the cat. But like people will actually purposely hit cats.
Yeah.
So there's another good reason why you would want to keep them indoors.
That's true.
If people see a cat in the gutter, they will purposely hit them.
When serial killers kill animals, I feel like it's usually a cat and not a dog. So I guess that's another reason to want to have your cat inside, because if there's some freak sociopath killing animals in your neighborhood, it's probably going to be cats.
I don't know. I guess I would use the cat as a warning at that point. If someone killed my cat, and I'm like, oh, I'm living with a psychopath,
sociopath, whatever.
And so I'm going to leave. I'm going to move.
So our fucking orange cat fuss bomb. Okay, cheddar pumpkin cheesecake or smoky cheddar pumpkin face. Sorry, cheddar.
Full dox.
That's a real like big name.
Here, I'm gonna dox this dog's first and last name. Her name is Aiko Funny Bitch.
You got her middle name too.
Does she have a middle name?
Her middle name is Funny.
Oh, okay. Full dox. This pooch is public information now.
Cheddar came in one day with a freaking hole in his foot.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think he either got into a fight or something. But that's when Cheddar became strictly an inside cat. And then we went to a family reunion maybe a few months after. I don't really remember. And then when we came back, never saw Cheddar again.
Huh.
Damn.
Someone else that we work with actually had a cat that ran away, and he might be watching this too, so apologies for bringing that up. But he had two cats, and one of them ran away, came back, and then the other one ran away and didn't come back.
Oh, I know.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah, don't say his name. But you
Bubble
know,
Ticker.
you
Bubble
know,
Ticker, that's
Buff
his name.
Boy, who doesn't like to admit he's a buff boy.
Buff Boy Barney.
Buff Boy Barney, that's his name. you just doxed his first, middle, and last name.
You wanted to bring up the fact that you like the fact that it's called Part 2 as opposed to 2.
Oh, yeah. Because I feel like Last of Us Part 2 doesn't work at all without Joel's death and without all the actions that Joel did in the first one. So when I don't like it when people call it Last of Us 2. I know it's just a shortening.
That's a stupid distinction. Go forward. Continue.
But it's...
What about when I call it T. Louis II? Do you get mad about that?
That's okay, because it's kind of unique and interesting.
Well, he stole it from a podcast. But,
I did not steal it from a podcast. I stole it from a tweet.
Okay.
Not a tweet. No, I stole it from a... There's this YouTuber by the name of Critical Drinker. And one time when he was talking about the game, and he just saw the... He didn't even realize that he was talking about it, right? He just saw the initials, and he just said T. Louis II.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I would argue it doesn't really matter if it's 2 or Part 2. I think that's a semantic game. Because I would argue Friday the 13th parts... I guess Part 2 is more directly linked with Part 1.
I can't believe that they only have 12 movies.
Yeah, they need to make a 13th.
Well, that's the thing, because it's a sequel because obviously it comes after the first.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's more of a continuation.
Yes, but
than anything
I'd argue
else.
that name Part 2 doesn't necessarily mean anything, because Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 is like the one that I hate because it has very little to do with the other 6 parts.
Well, that's on the movie's fault, not necessarily
Yeah, for sure.
the Part 2's fault, right?
Sure, but Friday the 13th does the same thing. Whereas Halloween 2 is a direct follow-up to Halloween 1.
Well, it's like the
No,
first one's a
H2O
slice of
is
cherry
direct
pie.
follow-up.
No, H2O is a direct follow-up to Halloween 2, and then Halloween 2018 is a direct follow-up to 1.
Nah, H2O is the second movie. You can't convince me otherwise.
No, because Laurie Strode is still Michael
I'm
Myers'
making a
sister.
joke.
Okay, I'm just saying.
So I don't know. For me, it's like the first one is a slice of cherry pie.
Oh.
And a sequel would be a slice of apple pie.
I thought you were going to say the rest of the cherry pie.
No, that's what he's going to say Part 2 is another slice of
It's another slice of cherry pie, exactly.
I disagree.
complete each
I
other.
think that's a
It's
stupid
thematic
distinction.
whole.
I think that sequels often are very direct.
Imagine if you bought yourself a cherry pie and they give you all the slices but one, right? And then you have to pay like $30 extra for the one slice.
Okay, wait. Repeat yourself again.
I'm making a DLC argument.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, is there a point to this? But that's actually a perfect analogy. Very, very, very good. But like, for instance, I would argue that like, and you know what? That's almost a negative to it then. If it's so the same that it just feels like part of the same game, because you want the sequel to feel.
No, it's a continuation of the grander story.
But that's how every sequel is.
Are you familiar with a lot of the glitches, by the way, of that game?
No, not really. I didn't really.
Did you ever experience
that
it?
many
Oh, you
glitches,
didn't
no.
experience it? No, I mean, you did good then. I experienced quite a few. I thought they were funny. I thought a lot of them were funny. I remember one particular glitch where I was playing as Abby, and I ran up to one of the bad guys, and I was going to hit him with my hatchet. But he was turning around as I hit him, and so the game, not knowing what to do, just turned him back around.
Very nice.
Like, as I hit.
He wasn't like, I'm getting me mallet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So one thing I like about the gameplay is how you can be stealthy. I like being stealthy, right?
I think I'll call this episode "You Cannot Escape The Last of Us Part 2" because we keep looping back to that.
That's what I was advertised to be here for.
It's true.
Well, what was I guess? Oh yeah. So like, I like stealth games. I used to be pretty good at them because I played like old Splinter Cell and stuff like that. But then as the years have gone on, I've gotten really bad. So I would like do okay at first, and then I would fuck up, get pissed off, and then just do basically like guerrilla warfare at that point, right?
I'm a gorilla.
I didn't realize until it was like halfway through the game, but the checkpoint system and that's really forgiving. So say you like kill 2 guys stealthily and you feel pretty good, and then the next guy comes in, shoots you in the head, and you lose. Then those 2 people are still dead, and you don't have to do the whole set piece.
It's like in the British
So I like
version of
that.
The Office, where Gareth picks up the phone and he goes, "Augie, Augie, Augie, oi, 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 Augie, Augie, oi, oi, oi."
I need to pee, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, now that he's gone, let me tell
Hey,
you,
he's not gone yet.
ruin the immersion. I was going to do a bit here, but now the bit is ruined.
Wait till he's
No,
gone,
the
then we'll
bit
talk
is
about
ruined. It's over.
No, hang on. God damn, what a cuck.
Pokes his head back. That was a hell of a bit. I am eating golden Oreos.
Nice.
Now you know. You viewers were dying to know that. Well, and let's talk a little bit about Sharknado.
Woo! Sharknado!
This is the world's biggest Sharknado fan, and we've watched the first 5. We still need to watch 6.
Yeah.
And he's also the one who gave me the Sharknado trilogy I showed in my Christmas update and DVD collection updates. I think I do agree that "Forgive me, Father, for I am Finn" is the best line ever uttered in any movie ever. But anyone who doesn't like Sharknado, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, honestly, if you don't like Sharknado, you never actually watched it and you didn't realize it was satire.
And you literally watched someone review it and tell you it was stupid, and then didn't. But it's supposed to be stupid. That's the point.
Yeah, I mean, it literally with the tagline. What's the tagline of the first one again? It's Sharknado.
Enough said.
Enough said.
Yeah.
That clearly is already meant to poke at the fact of how ridiculous shark movies are.
Yeah, and then the second one is "Oh Hell No."
Oh hell no.
Then what's the there's the third? Oh yeah, the third one's "Oh Hell No." The second one is called "The Second One."
Yeah, the second one, and then the fourth one is the Fourth Awakens.
Yeah, and then "Global Swarming."
Global Swarming.
But it's 5
I have
Sharknado.
urinated and I'm back.
Very good.
What's the sixth one again?
The Last Sharknado.
The Last Sharknado. That's what it is. Yeah, and then the fifth one, it doesn't just say Sharknado. The 5 is the.
Why does it always have to be sharks?
Yeah.
I liked that line was a thing in their Indiana Jones parody at the beginning of Sharknado 5. There's also a thing in Sharknado 5 where it confirms that Indiana Jones not only existed in the Sharknado universe, but also died.
Also died due to a shark trap.
Mm-hmm.
He died while trying to raid the Raiders of the Lost Shark.
Which is a movie we still need to watch. We
Raiders
have watched
of the Lost Shark.
Yes.
We have watched Santa Jaws.
We have seen Santa Jaws.
And the first 2 minutes of that movie are better than the entire rest of the movie.
Amazing. But it does have it kind of fucked itself up with its magic system by making it that whatever you draw comes to life.
Yeah, because we kept coming up with all sorts of ways to just defeat the shark at the end, like draw a hero that defeats the shark.
Yeah, exactly.
Draw Finn Shepard with a Christmas chainsaw to do a crossover.
Yeah, exactly.
Draw a bigger shark to kill
draw your family back to life after Santa Jaws kills your family.
Doesn't he do that at the end?
Well, no, he draws that he makes a wish for his family to come back to life.
Wait, so he drew himself making a wish? I don't remember that. I thought he just drew everyone back.
No, he drew that he made a Christmas wish for his family to come back to life.
Yeah, that's right. He could have just drawn them back to life. That's so stupid. Santa Jaws disappointed me, but it was still ultimately fun.
Yeah, it was still fun.
I still agree. I still stand by saying that the comic book store owner is the best character.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely realistic. When he got a hold of the pen, he drew himself a woman, he drew himself a nice car, and he drew himself a bunch of money.
Mm-hmm.
I think anyone would do the same.
Yeah.
Under the circumstances.
Yeah, of course.
When you draw world peace?
Fuck that.
How do you do that? You just write the word world peace?
No, you have an Earth, and then you have the little stick figures holding hands around it.
Well, then you just have a bunch of stick figures appear on the world just holding hands around
Yeah,
it.
you don't know exactly what the ramifications of that
Actually,
would
you
be.
create a whole new Earth, just with the way that pen works. Whatever you draw comes to existence.
Yeah.
What if you write the words, I don't want another Earth, I just want world peace?
Maybe. I don't know. They haven't established what writing does.
Yeah, exactly. And it kind of was alluded that the comic book guy, he could have drew his girlfriend to understand English.
Mm-hmm.
He says that he could have done that, but he didn't.
Yeah.
So I guess it kind of does imply that you could draw that. Maybe with the mindset you have as you draw.
It's like how with the Death
the
Note, you have to have the person's face in mind. You just have to have the traits of whatever you're drawing in mind.
Yeah.
You've seen a good chunk of Death Note.
I've seen a good chunk of Death Note, yeah.
That's right.
I need to.
You saw up to where Mello and Nier were introduced, but nothing after. Yeah.
Spoilers.
Well, that's why I didn't say the thing that happened before they were introduced that led to them being introduced. To avoid spoilers.
So I wanted to bring something up randomly.
Okay.
So I have this game,
Okay.
and my friends don't like the title of it because it's too long.
Raiders of the Lost Shark. Oh, never mind.
And
Too
here
long.
is what I would argue. So Star Wars is the property, right?
Yeah.
And the tagline for the fifth one is The Empire Strikes Back.
Sure.
So that works.
Yeah.
The tagline for this game, or not the tagline, the series is called YS, right?
Okay.
YS. And the tagline is the Lacrimosa of Donna.
I don't got a problem with that.
So yeah, Donna is the main character. Lacrimosa basically means end.
Mm.
It has to do with...
Now, is this a real game or something you're making up?
No, this is a real game.
Okay.
It's a great game.
Just wanted to be clear, because you were saying, I have this game, so I just want to make sure.
So whenever I say East 8 Lacrimosa of Dawn, like, hey, is that English? That's word vomit. Like, no, like, and then I even break it up. Hey, this is the series, this is the tag. I don't see how it's different from all these other things, you know? Like, there's nothing wrong with it.
I have never once heard anyone complain about the name Aqua Teen Hunger Force : movie film for theaters.
Oh, I realized I never finished what I was saying about the name of Sharknado 5.
Okay.
So it's not Sharknado 5. The S is replaced with a 5, so it's 5 Harknado.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case anyone in the video was
I did say 5 Harknado at one point.
It's called 5 Heart? Oh, because the 5 is...
Yeah, the S.
Just like 3 in?
How people call it Fant 4-stick.
Yeah, well, or Scroform.
Yeah.
Scroform.
Yeah, Screenform.
Yeah, Scroform.
do you like that, or do you think it's clever, or do you think it's just weird looking?
I think it's fine. Fear did the same thing with Fear 3.
Yeah.
Oh, have you ever seen?
Didn't Resident Evil 7 do the same thing too?
Resident Evil 7 did something very unique, where in Japan the series is called Biohazard, and over here it's called Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
Or it's not 7, it's Resident Evil, and so the full title of the game is Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, and then in Japan it's called Biohazard 7 Resident Evil. So they combine both names.
Interesting.
But they did use the Roman numeral for 7 for some of the letters in the words Resident Evil.
That's pretty cool. I actually thought it was pretty cool, like, honestly. We still need to see Scream 3.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it.
Well, together.
Yeah, I know.
So
I was just going to say, I have seen it.
I've only seen Scream 4.
You haven't seen 1, 2, or 3?
No. One scared me as a kid.
I mean, that's
especially
exactly
the garage scene.
Yeah. Same scene.
Oh
that
my
is
god.
literally the same scene.
Oh my god. Like, you just said everything I said when we started talking about Scream.
Mm-hmm.
I've only seen 4.
Mm-hmm.
Scream always scared me when I was a kid, especially the garage scene.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact,
awesome.
Ghostface is the only, like, slasher villain I'm actually terrified of.
Well, it makes sense, though, because he's the only one that's actually realistic, because he's multiple
just
people.
a serial killer, basically.
Well, he's not a serial killer. He's multiple
2
copycats.
serial killers.
Spoiler.
Oh, that's right.
Well, I think he's almost always 2 people, though.
Is he? I mean, we haven't seen 3
Just
yet,
2 people who are, like, collaborating
As
with
I said,
each other.
I think that there's 2 people in 3, but I can't think of who the second one is.
Yeah, because 4, 1, and 2 we know for a fact has 2 people.
And I know who all the people are. So.
Does the series have 2 people?
Kind of. The end of the first season implies that the bisexual chick was one of them, and I don't care about spoiling it because the series is awful.
My sister tried to argue that it was actually pretty good.
I liked it when I watched the first season the first time.
You know, and I just don't get it. She took film school.
Mm-hmm.
How does she say all these things are...
Didn't she say The Thing was bad?
Yeah, she said The Thing was bad.
Yeah. You ever seen The Thing?
No.
Great movie. Great fucking movie. I love The Thing. Solid 9 out of 10.
When we watch, what was the anime we were going to watch together?
Weathering with You?
Yeah, Weathering with You. We're going to watch The Thing as well.
Works for me.
Okay. Yeah, see, so we watch movies together. It's what we do.
Movies are good, y'all. Put in the comments that you like movies if you want.
Everyone type in the chat that Alex... no, I've already said the word once.
If you made it this far in the video, comment below what your favorite movie is.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, and argue as to why you think Last of Us Part 2 is actually good.
And then of course you'll be wrong, but at least you'll explain why you're wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Is there anything else we want to add to this one?
Last of Us Part 2 is a good game.
No. But everyone should watch Sharknado.
Oh yes, we were talking about Sharknado.
We certainly were. So are we continuing or are we ending it here? Oh, I mean, unrelated note.
Watch it and make sure you understand that it is a parody.
Yeah, it's satire. It very clearly is.
It is absolutely satire.
Much like Chills, the YouTuber. Chills is a parody. He's a character. He's satire. And people need to realize that. Because it's very obvious. I don't know about you guys, but I think this one might be CGI. When it's like the most obvious CGI ever. But unrelated note, because I'm looking at it. I bought some green onion cereal, so look forward to that in a snack review. That'll be fun. I hope I don't vomit.
I want to try it.
I will let you try it.
I also want to try it.
Okay. Well, we will all be having it.
Well, we watched the movie.
Well, I mean, I gotta film it when I do it at least. So.
Okay.
We can, if we have milk, we can do it tonight. I just need someone to film me eating it. You guys don't need to be filmed eating it, but yeah, I think that's good enough. We got a little over an hour and a half here. Unless someone wants to keep going with something else, we can end it here.
I don't know if we discussed how we feel about Last of Us Part 2 yet.
You know, actually, it's a pretty great game. I haven't put it down since I started playing it.
I have not put it down.
That's actually a criticism to how long it is.
Yeah. I was going to say that I picked it up and never put it in the console because I never put it down. I just held it the whole time. I was going to make a pun. But that's enough, I think. See you next time for Fighting the Frizzies at 11. Toodles.